Hey dreamers, and welcome back to Connor's Dreamlight Magic. Today, we're diving into some big ideas for the future of Dreamlight Valley. We already have beautiful places like Eternity Isle and Storybook Vale, but what if future DLCs went even further? I've put together 10 biomes I'd love to see added, complete with critters, resources, and some Disney characters we might expect to unlock in them. I hope you enjoy. At number 10, we have a Hellish biome. This would be the darkest, most sinister biome we've ever had in Dreamlight Valley. Imagine twisted volcanic landscapes, rivers of glowing lava, jagged black rocks, and eerie flames lighting up the night sky. It could be inspired by Boneswara from the Owl House, giving players something totally different from the usual bright and cozy areas of the valley. A Hellish biome would bring in an entirely new vibe, something spooky, fiery, and dangerous looking while still being Disney friendly. For critters, imps would make perfect sense, scurrying around and acting mischievous. As for characters, pain and panic would fit in right at home here, giving us comic relief in a spooky place. Hades was already in Storybook Vale, so this biome could be a chance to explore some side characters. There could even be fiery new crops or resources, like brimstone flowers or obsidian crystals, that players could use for crafting hellfire-themed furniture. At number 9, we have an Archipelago biome. A tropical archipelago biome would be made up of smaller islands, each connected by bridges or shallow water you can wade through. Imagine lush greenery, sandy beaches, and hidden caves scattered across the islands. It would capture the adventurous energy of Disney's more modern films and give a fresh alternative to the typical beach biome we already have. For critters, colourful butterflies would be perfect, flutting across the flowers on each island. Plus, Raya from Raya and the Last Dragon would be a great character to unlock here, since her story is all about journeys, cultures, and sacred land. This biome could also introduce resources like special stones, lotus plants, or even water pearls that players could use for crafting, different to the ones from Eternity Isle. At number 8, we have a Mesa biome. The Mesa biome would capture the desert canyon aesthetic, wide plateaus, tall rock formations, and winding paths. Picture something like a mix between Monument Valley and classic western deserts, with a warm golden glow at sunset. It would stand out as a more arid and rugged environment, making it totally unique compared to the lush biomes we have now, and more different than the sunlit plateau. Critters could include spiders, which would crawl in and out of cracks in the rocks and spin webs on the cliffs. As for characters, this biome could unlock figures tied to deserts or canyon environments. Maybe someone like the Sultan from Aladdin, or even a lesser known desert explorer from Disney lore. Resources could include sandstone blocks, desert flowers, or even cactus fruits, which could be turned into new recipes. At number 7, we have a cherry blossom biome. The cherry blossom biome would be one of the most beautiful and tranquil additions yet, with soft pink petals floating through the air and trees in constant bloom. It would create a calming atmosphere that feels alive, with seasonal vibes all year round. Walking through would almost feel like stepping into a piece of artwork filled with colour and light. Critters could be sparrows, flying from tree to tree and adding to the peaceful vibe. For characters, Li Shang from Mulan would make sense, or Mei from Turning Red, since cherry blossoms are tied to themes of growth and emotions. Resources could include cherry blossom petals or something very similar, giving players new recipes for crafting. At number 6, we have a space biome, which could be unlike anything else in Dreamlight Valley. A glowing cosmic landscape with floating platforms, nebulous skies, and planets in the distance. Imagine walking on glowing crystal paths while stars sparkle above. It would capture the wonder of interstellar Disney adventures and stand out as one of the most creative biome ideas. Critters here could be little alien creatures, each themed around different space designs, glowing, floating, or antennaed. For characters, we could go wild. Jim Hawkins from Treasure Planet would be my personal top pick. But we could also see Star Wars characters here, or some Stitch experiments, or maybe some new Wally friends. Resources could include star crystals, meteor shards, or cosmic flowers, which could be all crafted into futuristic furniture. At number 5, we have a highly requested biome, the underwater biome, which could really transform Dreamlight Valley with a fully submerged zone. Imagine coral reefs, glowing kelp forests, and shipwrecks hidden in the background. The lighting could shift to feel aquatic and magical, with schools of fish swimming past and bubbles rising from the ground. Critters here could be octopi, or even small glowing jellyfish. Characters like Nemo, Dory, or Sebastian could make sense here, and this biome would naturally tie into the Little Mermaid themes. Resources could include coral fragments, seashells, and more types of seaweed, all used for ocean-inspired furniture or seafood meals. At number 4, we have a mountain biome. A mountain biome could feel truly epic. Towering snowy peaks, caves, and frozen rivers. It would bring a high altitude, dramatic aesthetic that balances both danger and beauty. The sky could shift into northern lights at night, giving it an extra magical touch. Critters could include mountain goats climbing across ledges, which would be both funny and charming. Characters like Chernobog from Fantasia would be perfect here, with his dark commanding presence looming over the peaks. Resources could include frost crystals, pinewood, and snowberries, all of which could bring icy themed furniture and mountaintop recipes. At number 3, we have a Candyland biome, which could be fun, colourful, and completely whimsical. Imagine a gumdrop hills, chocolate rivers, and giant candy cane growing like trees. It would feel like stepping right into Wreck-It Ralph's Sugar Rush world, full of bright colours and playful designs. Critters could be candy creatures, maybe little gumdrop critters, or chocolate bunnies hopping around. Characters like Fix-It Felix, or Ralph himself would make sense here, as we already have Vanellope, especially since their world connects so naturally to the idea. Resources could include candy shards, frosting plants, or sugar crystals, all of which could be turned into desserts or candy furniture. In the second spot, we have an underground biome, which would add a mysterious, darker atmosphere to the valley. Imagine glowing mushrooms, crystalline caverns, and twisting tunnels filled with secrets. It would feel hidden and magical, almost like exploring a forgotten underworld beneath the valley. Critters could be moles, or bioluminescent bugs crawling through the caves. This biome could tie in with characters to underground worlds, like maybe the dwarves from Snow White. Resources could include glowing fungus, cave crystals, or rare minerals that could be crafted into mystical furniture. And finally, at number 1, my top pick, a city/urban biome, which would bring something we've never seen before. Modern streets, neon lights, and skyscrapers towering in the background. It would contrast heavily with the natural environments we already have, giving players something sleek and exciting. Imagine walking through a glowing, bustling city that still has Disney's charm. Critters could be mice, scurrying around from alleyways and buildings. Characters like Baymax and Hero from Big Hero 6 would make perfect sense here, as well as the Incredibles. Resources could include steel, neon tubing, and electronics, which could bring futuristic and urban-inspired furniture into the game. And that wraps up my list of 10 biomes I'd love to see added in future Dreamlight Valley DLCs. From spooky hellscapes to the candy-coated wonderlands, these are all just my personal ideas of what could make the valley feel even bigger, more magical, and even more diverse. Each of these biomes brings its own critters, characters, and resources that I think would add so much personality and variety to the game. Of course, these are just my thoughts. I'd love to hear from you, dreamers. Which of these biomes would you want to see the most, and what characters or critters would you add to them? Drop your ideas in the comments below, and let's dream up the future of Dreamlight Valley together. Until next time, thanks for watching Connor's Dreamlight Magic, and I'll see you in the valley. Bye!